Craig Cronbaugh began playing the drums in school. He first became interested in the drums as a child after watching Ringo Starr drumming with the Beatles on The Ed Sullivan Show. In addition to listening to rock drummers, early on, Craig began an interest in jazz. By the time he was a senior in high school and just after graduation, Craig began combining rock and roll drumming skills with the stylized syncopation of jazz drumming. Area rock drummers previously had not used this combination style. Although now skilled in rock and roll drumming, one can see the jazz influence in this early film clip. Just listen to the rock and roll and jazz drumming in this early onstage solo by Craig at age 19. Always the gentleman drummer, because of Craig's desire to portray a classy look, he was as exciting to watch as he was to listen to on stage. One of the early bands that Craig played drums in was the popular Good, Bad, and Ugly from Cedar Rapids. This band also featured the multi-talented Terry Lawless on reeds and keyboards. In 1978, Craig was the drumming man in one of the first Elvis impersonator show bands, Artie and the American Dream from Dubuque. This stint enabled audiences to enjoy Craig's show-style brand of drumming. During the winter of 1979 to 1980, Craig went into the recording studio to record his own pop rock album, That Drummer. Featured on that album was Craig's wonderful rendition of the ever-popular drum rocker, Wipe Out. Of course, Craig utilized top-notch rock drumming with jazzy syncopation in this song. Craig's album project incorporated the talents of many of the area's finest musicians, all handpicked by Craig. 6 of these musicians went on to be inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A single from the album featured Craig drumming and singing I Think I'd Rather Be in Love, the A side of the record. It enjoyed the rounds on many nightclub jukeboxes during the early 1980s.
I like singing a lot, especially when a song is written for me.
I can tell by the look in your eyes that you might be leaving. Don't want to hear you tell me goodbye. Don't want to
time Craig's album was released, Craig began drumming with a band called Showboat. This group was a breakout band because the ensemble was the first area band to have their own nightclub. The band enjoyed a steady gig, playing 6 nights a week.
Dave Morgan back again at the Raintree Lounge in the Marion Heights Shopping Center. Of course, tonight, Showboat, being brought to you by the fine folks at the 7-Eleven stores. Let's introduce the band.
Back on drums, stand up, Craig, so everybody on radio can see you. It's Craig Cronbaugh, do it wrong, yeah.
He is standing up. He is standing up.
Okay.
In 1983, Craig formed Night Moves along with bass player Don Doherty. This group became extremely popular and even had its own fan club. Night Moves played 7 nights a week and was Craig's final stint as a full-time drummer.
For $50 I could buy 1 hour of your time.
Say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air.
Craig's final drumming stint was in the Alumni, which played on weekends. In 1995, and in his late 30s, Craig obtained a broadcast and journalism degree from the University of Northern Iowa. After college, he became a newspaper editor, photographer, and columnist. Craig continued to sit in on the drums from time to time with bands. Invariably, he was always asked to play Wipeout for the crowds, or he would just perform as a soloist. Today, Craig is the director of the Legislative Information Office, with an office at the Iowa State Capitol. He lives in Des Moines with his wife, Marlene. In 2005, Craig published his book, Reaching for a Star, a memoir of his life in music and friendship with famed singer Frankie Laine. Craig still enjoys the utmost respect of Eastern Iowa's greatest musicians from the 70s and 80s. There are young drummers crediting him as influencing them, a great legacy. Rock on, Craig!